For this, the eighth of my reflections on spiritual aloneness for people who are vowed or people who have a promise of celibacy, for those that might be considering these wonderful states of life, we just take a moment to experience and open our hearts to this beautiful presence of God in our lives. And now let's turn to a couple passages from Jan Rusbeck. God in the depths of us receives God who comes to us. It is God contemplating God. God is more interior to us than we are to ourselves. His acting in us is nearer and more inward than our own actions. God works in us from inside outwards. Creatures work on us from the outside. In these apparently contradictory passages, I think he's focusing on two different things, but they're so beautiful, I wanted to put them together. The first is that God is within us deeper than we can imagine. As he says, God works from inside outward because he's so much a part of who we are. And so sometimes our aloneness can move into loneliness because we forget that at the very depths of who we are in constant communication with God, whether we know it or not. That God there is there working and calling us and loving us very deeply. And so when we experience creatures from the outside, they come into us and God works out and incorporates them into the love that he has for us. But that first part of the passage where God also comes from outside, because as much as God might be within us, we can never forget that God also is very active in the world around us and in our lives. And so if we go deeply into this experience of God within us, we find that God within us is contemplating, leading us to contemplate the wonders that God has put in this beautiful world, the activity of God in the blessings and the graces that we receive from this world, from other people, from our prayer, whatever it is. So this God within us is in such a beautiful way contemplating what God is doing, outside of us too. And in all of this, a certain deep relationship and love and closeness develops that I think can be really helpful for us to not think that we are living alone and lonely or whatever. The very opposite, that being so conscious of God within us and that God coming to us from without in a way we may not want too many other people to be so close to us. That in some way doesn't allow us to focus on how beautifully God is acting within us and God is coming to us outside of us.